If you consistently work on yourself, then when someone rejects you or leaves you, it's not your loss. What I mean is, there are so few people who actually work on themselves and improve themselves and grow. So if you're one of the people who does that, you're rare. So in this situation where somebody rejects you or leaves you, realize that the other person is very likely the one who's getting the short end of the stick in this situation. They're the ones who are passing up on somebody who is actually a rarefied person. So don't beat yourself up. Don't feel bad for yourself when they do that. Instead, start realizing that you may very likely be the prize in these situations. You're the one who other people should want to date, should want to marry. So do not start thinking, woe is me, when you get rejected or when somebody breaks up with you. Start thinking, well, they just made a mistake because the odds of them finding someone like you, if you do consistently work on yourself, are pretty freaking low. We often tend to kind of over overestimate our odds of finding a great partner for ourselves. And if you consistently work on yourselves, I can pretty much make a well educated guess that you are probably a good partner for many different people. Because what makes a good partner is having that ability to consistently grow and make yourself better. So that way, when you make mistakes in a relationship, you'll work on them, you'll realize that you made those mistakes and you'll fix them over time. You'll have self awareness, which is huge in relationships. So basically, if you actually work on yourself, you are or you're on the journey, or either already are a high quality partner. So never ever beat yourself up in these situations. I feel like I have to make these videos because so often when we face rejection or somebody breaks up with us, we tend to take it incredibly personally. But if you do work on yourself, you really shouldn't. Because in those situations, the other person really is kind of making a mistake because they're overestimating their odds of finding someone who can replace you. And like I said before, people who actually work on themselves are rare. Think about it. I mean, think about all the people you've encountered in your whole life. Okay, I know that's kind of hard, but think about all those people. On average, how many of them actually worked on themselves? How many of them were rare, who were upstanding people? I mean, just think about that. It's a very few number, right? I mean, oh man, when I think about that in my own life, it's so few. So this is what I mean. People who work on themselves consistently, who consistently grow, are super rare. You are the prize if you actually do that. So never feel bad for yourself. Never beat yourself up. Never start thinking, woe is me, and fall into depression when someone breaks up with you or rejects you. You're putting too much value on them. The only situations where I'd say that's somewhat, I guess, called for isn't the right way of putting it. I guess just somewhat natural is where the other person is actually someone who, just like you, also consistently works on themselves. In that case, okay, yeah, that sucks. Because being rejected by them means that you got rejected by someone who could have been a great partner for you. Although if they rejected you, then that's probably not the case. But and then also if they were to break up with you, then yet again that would suck because they're actually on the journey or already a high quality partner. So in those situations it's justified. But if that person isn't actually high quality and they reject you or they break up with you, try not to take it all that personally, because in those cases you probably fell in love with their looks, which I understand that, especially for the guys out there, we do fall hardcore for looks. It's just us guys are very what's the word? It's not superficial, but we're very much, I can't think of the word, but we were very much in tune with beauty in that way, external beauty, and that's what we tend to fall head over heels for. But also, it could be where you just fell in love with the attention or validation that that person gave to you. And in that case, that's super dumb. Anyone can give that to you. And not only that, once you've worked on yourself enough, spent enough time growing, you'll get to a place where you don't even need external attention or validation anymore. You'll be able to provide that for yourself. You'll start caring more about what you think of you than what other people think of you. So then when people praise you or or criticize you, you're not going to care anymore because you only really spend a lot of attention on your own opinion of yourself. So that's the goal. You want to get to that place. But even if you aren't there yet, if you're still consistently working on yourself, then like I said, you are going to be the prize. So just do not take rejection or breakups personally as much as possible, because I know they can still hurt to some extent, but really the more often you encounter them, the less pain you'll get from them. So for all the guys out there, I would say just go and talk to as many women as possible, get rejected as much as possible, because then you won't care about it anymore and you'll start realizing that it has nothing to do with you, and you'll start realizing that a lot of the women who reject you aren't even worth your time anyway. All you wanted to do was get them in bed, which that's one thing, that's understandable, but they're not worth your time beyond that, so it's not all that much of a loss. There are very few people who work on themselves, so unless you find somebody like that, do not take it super hardcore. Don't get tripped up over it. Just pick yourself back up and keep moving forward. But anyway, I really just wanted to make this video for all of you out there who, I mean, if you're watching a lot of my videos, then I'm pretty sure you're working on yourself. So I just wanted to reassure all of you and let you know that you shouldn't take rejection or breakups personally, because you're on the right path. You're you're improving yourself. You're making your life better. You're becoming a better person. So when people reject you or leave you, they're very likely the ones who are missing out. They're making a huge mistake, and I know that because you are all awesome and you're becoming even more awesome over time. So just keep being you and just shrug it off when people aren't capable of recognizing your worth. Anyway, I hope this video helped you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci!